Goddag og velkommen. Vi er taget ud til Ubisoft i aften for at lave et interview med Jade, som har lavet Assassin's Creed. Hey Jade, and welcome to Denmark.
Thank you.
So, how's your stay been so far?
It's been exciting. I actually haven't done anything Danish at all. I started out as a programmer actually because I used to play games a lot. I started building robots with like Lego Mindstorm when I was a kid and making them move around with, you know, this, it's not really a programming language, but it was with a turtle, you know, with logo. Yeah. I got my guys to move around. So I got into computers that way. And I played a lot of games and I thought some people make games, so why not me? Well, it's definitely not been a problem in everyday work. I mean, no one really notices, you know, just doing my job. And I've been a producer for like 10 years now, but I guess this is the first time I'm really talking about a game. So it's definitely not a problem or even something I think about day to day, but it's something that comes up a lot, mostly with journalists, I think. Of course, it's people like you.
I'll find the angle.
When we started, we basically got a piece of paper from the bosses saying, we want a game that redefines the action-adventure genre for next generation of consoles. And at this time, we didn't know what the next generation of consoles were. We'd heard about PlayStation 3 was going to have all these cell processors, and we heard the Xbox 360 was going to be able to do all this stuff in parallel, but we didn't know. So we were like, okay, they want us to redefine gameplay, and we just set the bar really high and said, okay, what kind of stuff could we not do before? Climb everywhere. We're like, free running's cool. Let's make a game where these huge cities and you can free run everywhere and we can climb everywhere. And then we're like, crowd. You couldn't have that many crowd before. Let's try and get over 100 people on screen simulated all at once doing their own thing. So those were the two big objectives. And the inspiration, of course, were the original assassins. And you get to be one of these original assassins. As you're assassinating these guys, you actually find out that there's something else in the works, and you start to question what you're doing and why, and you kind of find out that something else is at play that has
So there's a sense of morale to the game too.
There's got to be a sense of morale. I mean, you don't have to pay attention to it, you know? If you just want to be out there doing the action, then it's an action game and it's made for that. But for the people who want to, you know, pay a little more attention to the story, we've put a lot of effort into that.
Okay.
Take you down! What are you doing? Away from me! Anyone see him? They're here! It's in me! He's dead!
Det var ikke kun Jade, vi fik snakket med, men det var også Max, som er game design director på spillet Assassin's Creed. Lad os stille om et par spørgsmål. So, what was the hardest thing to design in the game?
I think the hardest thing to design was the fight system, because we're not doing a fight system like a God of War where you hit a guy 100 times and then he dies. You know, we're a really realistic fight. Mm-hmm. So the swords are touching and we had to make it fun at the same time. So the challenge of realism with the sword fight and also making it fun really made a good challenge for us. Tweaking that balance and that was very interesting.
Okay.
There's a couple, but obviously I can't say anything because Jade's gonna be very mad at me.
Okay.
I can feel her looking at me right now.
Definitely.
What brings so much disruption to our cause? We have tried to stop him, but many lives have been claimed by his steel. He fights like no man. People say he moves like an angel of death, carrying fury on his wings. Nonsense. These are just stories. Such myths do not exist.
Her har vi Vincent som associate producer på spillet Assassin's Creed, og vi har også et par spørgsmål til ham. So how you doing, Vincent?
I'm doing great.
Okay, we have a couple of questions, and the first one is, what was the hardest thing to come up with for the game?
I guess the first thing you need to do is come up with the idea, and an idea means nothing if it doesn't become a concept per se. Concept is a bunch of ideas stuck together that make sense, that have a purpose, and that was Patrice's job. Patrice Desilets, the creative director on a project, and he came up with the idea when actually reading a book about the assassins while finishing up Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and the idea was super cool because you could actually involve the Crusaders that were actually at the same period, and then mix it up with a different culture, and I have a very interesting background for some storyline, and eventually some cool gameplay as well, because there was all sorts of mystique surrounding the assassins themselves.